through. In contrast to South Africa, who won 5 in contrast to South Africa, who won 5 of their 7. Big warm welcome to Stanton Fredericks alongside me for today's commentary. A chance to play in the World Cup, that's every footballer's dream, surely.
A dream indeed, and Nigeria have a mammoth task there with Rwanda and Benin just sitting on 11 points. A massive must-win for Nigeria, but I think the prize World Cup, that's what every young boy dreams to do, is play in the World Cup, and opportunity for South Africa. It'll be the 4th time if they do qualify for the World Cup finals.
South Africa, of course, hosts in 2010. Before that, played in 98 and 2002. Nigeria have been to 6 World Cups. They missed out on the last one in Qatar, lost out in the playoffs against Ghana. It was a rather miserable own goal, or goalkeeping error really, that cost them a place in Qatar. They were far the better team over the 2 legs of the playoff against Ghana. But they face the possibility now of a second successive failure in the World Cup qualifiers unless they can do something here this evening. Free State Stadium is the venue. The situation in this group is still a little murky. It's not sure what is happening about the potential 3-point deduction for South Africa. A lot of conjecture, a lot of misinformation at the moment, but strangely no word from FIFA. They put out a tweet around about 5 hours ago saying that if South Africa win today and if Benin are not successful in the 9 o'clock game against Lesotho, South Africa will qualify. That's on FIFA's X account. So if we go with that, it could be a very big night. But you have a funny feeling that this Tebogo Mokoena defaulter issue is still to be solved, and that might yet come back to bite. So South Africa will want to ensure that they have a healthy advantage at the top of the table.
Yeah, indeed, and obviously it's not the best scenario, so you can control what's in your hands. An opportunity for South Africa today to get the 3 points and stay in control. Having said that, Nigeria, if you look at it mathematically, if they get maximum points from the remaining 3 games, that's 9 points. That puts them in qualification spot.
And remember, only the group winner goes through to the finals. 9 African groups. The 4 best runners-up will go into a playoff competition, which will be in November. And the winner of that African playoff competition will go to a further playoff competition next March, involving teams from the other confederations. So rather convoluted, extra possible position available for Africa. But the easiest way to ensure participation at the World Cup is to win your group, and we have already seen Morocco and Tunisia book their places. So 7 of the 9 still to be decided. There's a chance for Egypt tonight if they win in Burkina Faso to become the 3rd African team to book their place. And as FIFA has said, if South Africa win and Benin fail to win, they're playing at 9 o'clock against Lesotho, then South Africa will be through. One game earlier today in this group at the Orlando Stadium, Rwanda beating Zimbabwe, who look as if they are going to finish at the bottom of the standings. So we wait for the 2 teams to come out. You can see the benches slowly making their way out. South Africa on a 26-game unbeaten run, if you exclude the the Chan and the COSAFA competitions. And Nigeria with just 2 wins from their last 10 outings across all competitions. It's a team full of names at the big clubs across Europe, but perhaps not gelling the way they previously did. They'll have some good support here this evening. Nigerian expats in South Africa are numerous. It's not as big a crowd, Stanton, as we were hoping for here at the Free State Stadium.
Yeah, we're hoping that it does fill up just before kickoff, which is closely counting down. And it has to be said that in recent times, South Africa on the up and up against Nigeria, but it has been said that like the quality that Nigeria possesses, South Africa should have no business competing with them. But let's just look at the last competition, and I think South Africa starting to improve under Hugo Broos, and I do think that staking a claim, and I think this will give them an opportunity for more players to play at a higher level. You do well in the Nations Cup, you qualify for the World Cup, so South Africa on the up and up, but that says nothing about a star-studded Nigerian side.
We will get to the lineups in a moment or two. Just to remind you, South Africa with a fine record here at the Free State Stadium. Nigeria have played here once before in the 2010 World Cup. They lost by 2-1 against Greece. They were actually in the lead, and then Dimitris Salpingidis and Vasily Torosidis. I threw those two names in just to see if you remember them both.
Both playing for Panathinaikos with fellow South African there, Nassif Morris.
And now, ladies and gentlemen,
so Greece beating Nigeria on their only previous trip to Bloemfontein. South Africa, of course, were victorious here on Friday night against Lesotho in their 7th World Cup qualifier. So here they come. William Troost-Ekong on the left-hand side, the Dutch-born defender leading out the Nigerian team. And whoops, a little bit of slipping. Is that a portent of things to come for Nigeria? South Africa led out, of course, by Ronwen Williams. Surely footballers are a little bit superstitious. What does that say, Stanton, about what's going to happen?
Maybe a bit of Muti on the right-hand side of that, but you never know.
Well, if ever there was a social media meme in the making, that is one that I'm sure we're going to see over the next 48 hours across your TikToks and Instagrams. There are the two sides. This is the City of Roses, capital of the Free State Province, the Free State Stadium, originally a rugby venue, of course, used for the 2010 World Cup, and of course a home on occasion to the likes of Bloemfontein Celtic. Kaizer Chiefs have used this as a home ground once or twice, and this season in Bloemfontein it'll be used by Marumo Gallants as well as Siwelele on occasion. Right, to the national anthems we go.
And now the national anthem of South Africa.
Formalities completed, the action can begin here in Bloemfontein. World Cup qualifying, Group C, South Africa and Nigeria. The 8th game of the campaign for both of these sides. I'll have 2 more left next month. So this one's so decisive in so many ways. Lots of criticism of the pitch conditions here in Bloemfontein. It was a logical choice, though, for South Africa to come and play after Lesotho, who had to host the last game, moved it here to Bloemfontein. They do not have a venue, so South Africa staying in Bloemfontein, playing 2 successive matches. 3 changes from that Lesotho game. Two at fullback. Mudanyawa is in for the injured Nico Mobi, and then Kabini comes in for Aubrey Modiba on the left-hand side. One change in the defensive midfield role, but Tusi Obas with a little more bite than Talente Mbata, says coach Hugo Bruce. Refereeing team today will have plenty of work on their hands. This is going to be potentially a feisty encounter between these two countries. Let's see who wins this particular toss. Gabonese officials in charge today. Pierre Gislan Acho is the man in the middle. Big responsibility for him. The final picture before they get batters underway. Nigeria coming into this game with 3 changes as well from their match. So Cyril Dessers, born in the Netherlands, has never started a competitive international for Nigeria. He gets the starting berth in attack.